This is Solo Agent World, where we celebrate the accomplishments of high-performing single-agent real estate practices. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent, and welcome to the Solo Agent World podcast. Today, we're talking with Terri Chase with HomeSmart in Prescott, Arizona. Terri is a solo agent with one administrative assistant. Last year, she sold 65 homes worth $20 million and earned $600,000 in GCI. Today, we're going to talk about how she generates consistent repeating referrals from her past clients and sphere of influence. Welcome to the call, Terri.
Hi, how are you, Mike?
I am doing great, Terri. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait to talk about your PCSOI program, how you're getting those repeating referrals. So let's go ahead and jump right in. My first question for you is, how many transactions last year were repeating referral from past clients and sphere of influence?
About 36, Mike.
About 36. That's great. So you're just a little over half. I'm guessing about 330,000 in GCI or so. Sound correct?
Correct.
That is awesome. That is really a powerful sphere and referral database. So let's kind of jump into this. How big is your past client sphere of influence database? How many people are in there?
Oh, for just past clients, over 3,000.
Wow, just past clients are over 3,000?
Yes.
That's amazing. Are you sure about that number? That sounds really high to me.
Well, I am, because not only have I sold homes, but I also work with rentals. So I have landlord, and sometimes landlords have multiple properties, and then I also have the tenants.
Now that makes sense. Okay, fantastic. So that's split between buy, sell, and also rental. And now that's how come that is such a big database. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so you've got a really large database. If you were to go back, how many do you think were past clients from just buying and selling houses?
I would probably say 70 to 80% of that.
Okay, and so the rental business is just kind of a sideline for you. It's adding maybe a third of the business?
It is. At one point, when short sales and foreclosures were being very popular, I didn't really want to do either one of those, but I was an investor myself. So I thought, I'm going to help landlords and I'm going to help people invest their money in that.
That sounds smart. That makes sense. And we've got to remember, you've been doing this business for quite a while. How long have you been in the business?
20 years.
20 years. Very good. So you saw that great recession slump and so forth. That's what you were just referring to in the 2006, 7, 8, depending on where you are in the country, 9 through 10,
Yes.
And that kind of funness. All right, well, let's keep moving. In your past client database, do you use any kind of special software to track these people?
No, I use my spreadsheet from Google, and then we import that list about every 3 months and import it into the programs we use so that it stays pretty up to date.
And I'm sorry, you imported into where?
Into whatever online program I'm using, because we use a variety of them.
Give me an example. What do you mean?
We use Constant Contact.
So like an email autoresponder, an email service to blast out?
Yes.
Okay.
And we use Exact Contact. We have a whole bunch of them. Different ones for different things.
Cool. Well, let's talk about that real fast, because I'm sure people are going to want to know. It's one of the things they ask me all the time is which software they use. So you're using Constant Contact. What other kind of programs are you using for this, for sphere of influence, past client sphere of influence?
Well, we have 2 different newsletters that get put out monthly. And one of those newsletters comes out more than monthly because it'll post things like about Easter or Christmas or, a holiday message. Or occasionally it's a letter about interest rates have dropped. Now's a good time to buy, get off the fence and buy, things like that. Informational letters are with it. The reason I like to keep my database in Google is in Google, it will tell me if I have any duplicates. So I'm always able to clean it up in Google, because some of the other ones you can import your database into it, but it doesn't clean them up necessarily or tell you have duplicates.
Are you using Google Contacts or Google Sheets, the spreadsheet? Are you using the Contacts, which is more like a Rolodex?
Yes, we use the contacts.
Yeah, because I recently started doing that, and I saw that feature where you can merge or get rid of, and it's kind of cool how it looks for those duplicates. I understand what you're saying. So you're keeping it in that old idea of a Rolodex where it's a card catalog, but it's electronic, and it'll see if there's any dupes, and then you're
Right.
able to export it and do things with it, like their email blasts. That makes sense to me now. Now I have a better picture. Thank you. I'm sure everybody else is seeing that too. How do you decide who goes into this database, and do you ever take anybody out?
Well, I can say through 21 years, I think I've had a total of 3 clients, because I'm very tolerable and I recognize I'm here to help them, and they really need to feel that. But everybody gets a crazy client. And I've probably had 3 that I won't ever do business with for any price. And yes, of course, we've removed those 3.
But other than that, you're going to keep people in there until they either die or ask you to remove them from the database and marketing. Other than that, you're going to keep on them.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. How often do you contact your past clients in sphere of influence? What's the frequency?
2 to 3 times a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's go into that. Could you please describe your annual marketing plan that goes out to your past clients in sphere of influence?
Well, I would say my annual marketing plan for them, for past clients, will probably be about $400 or $500 a month.
Okay, cool. So it's costing about $400 to $500 a month. And what does that consist of? What are you doing each time that you say these 2 and 3 contacts? Are you calling them? Are you mailing them? Are you sending them an email? How are you staying in touch with them? Kind of give us the big picture for the year.
Well, it's a variety of things. I mean, sometimes it's just a letter to check in and say, how are you doing? This is what I'm doing, kind of a personal feel. This is what's happening in the market. You know, are you having any life changes that I can help them with? Be it you need a bigger home, smaller home, their kids they're becoming empty nesters, or whatever it is. I've just switched real estate companies. I try to keep them up to date on things. And for instance, one of the things we do at the end of the year is we send out the closing statement for the clients that closed last year. And the rate of people who email me or call me or thank me about that is phenomenal. They love that. And I have a lot of fun with it because they're telling me what's happening in their life. And I get Christmas cards from my clients with full-blown letters in them, what each family member is doing, where they're going, what's next. And so I love that part.
That is fantastic. So it all comes down to the relationship, your relationship with the person. And that's what you're saying there. That's what you're emphasizing, the personal part. And that idea, though, of the closing statement, that's pretty powerful. So you send that out probably in January every year with a little cover letter saying, hey, you're probably going to need these for your taxes coming up and just want to make sure you have it.
And they love that.
Yeah, I bet they do.
And I do things like I you know, between if I have a moment that I'm not doing something and I can see the anniversary of their house is coming up, and I say, hey, now that you're all settled, how's everything going? And I set myself up when clients are buying a house or selling a house. I have what I call my trades list. So no matter what they need, I have it in an email format and I can send it to them quickly. If they ask me for something and I don't have it, I will go find it and I will get it to them too. So I am their source for anything.
What is, for people that don't understand, what do you mean by a trades list? What's on there?
Well, it has painters that I use, handyman that I use, divorce lawyers, landscapers, housekeepers. We also have a utility list. So depending where they're moving, We give them the utility list. Here's the trash companies and the water companies and who to contact for your internet and what their choices are. We have both of those for every house that we sell.
How are you trying to stay in touch with people? You said 2 to 3 times a month. Is that typically happening by snail mail, email, picking up the phone and calling? You mentioned you have a letter. What else is happening?
Past clients, most of the contact with them is through email. It's either an e-blast that says, here's something we sold or listed or buy or an event, but most of the past clients, it's not snail mail.
Okay, so it's typically going out electronically. And you mentioned some of the things that you would normally do, which is a just listed, just sold. You're showing a success rate, informing them of what's going on in the market, but also showing that you're a success at getting these things done. You mentioned events. What kind of events are you promoting to your past clients' sphere of influence?
Well, we have things like I said, events like we put on this garage sale that I do in the subdivision, and people come from far away to come to this because we have big ads in the paper, we have signs, we have free maps. Another event we do is a shredding event where around April after taxes, we know people have to get things. And again, we have a sign-up list and that goes out to anybody. And so then I get updated with their contact information and their emails and can let them know when the next time is. And everybody likes something free and social. So we've talked about having food trucks there too. So you can come shred your stuff and have a good lunch.
Cool. Let's do this. Let's show everybody some samples so they can get an idea of what you're talking about in the marketing. Let's pull this open. Terry, what are we looking at here? This is something that goes out to your PCSOI, your past client sphere of influence?
Yes, this is a new listing. Actually, this is kind of an out of area listing. This is an investor I work with that actually bought this home that was a foreclosure and upgraded it. And it's in an area where we get lots of buyers that come in from Canada or Colorado where it's very cold because this area has got really good weather. But this particular property has a lot of things people like, a little bit of land, they can have RV parking. It's got a wood burning stone fireplace. It's a good sized lot. It's just a simple house, 2-car garage, some storage sheds and a swimming pool. What more could you ask for?
That's cool. And they can click there and they'll go to your website, see a virtual tour. So that's pretty good for that's your call to action to keep them moving. Very nice. And then you got a bunch of pictures of the property. Got the big cactus there.
And, a lot of people in Prescott, now, some of them are not going to go move to Congress, which is about an hour and a half away from here. And it's a warmer climate than we are in Prescott. But everybody's got family. Everybody knows somebody. And it's amazing to me through sending out my just listed, how many people get sent to me from somebody else I know.
That is great. Very good. And call today for your viewing appointment. There's your call to action, your phone number, your email, the website. Very nice. Thank you for sharing this. And this is going out to your sphere. Let's go ahead then and take a look at another one. Hold on. Okay, so Terry, tell me what we're looking at here.
This is one of the monthly newsletters that goes out to everybody. It's very informational. And as you scroll down, it talks about today's trends and how to get a hold of me. It also is broken down into, when you get a little bit lower on the email, it breaks down into areas that are going to interest somebody else. Talks about projects to do before you sell your home and maybe what those projects would cost and what gives you the best return. It also goes into, as you scroll down, let me see if you can get there. It has a section for first-time home buyers. It also has a section about that investors can go to investment properties. So we're looking for, through this newsletter, do you want to know what the value of your property is? Do you want to know what investment advice do you need? Do you want to know what you need to know when you're a first-time home buyer? zooming into different categories of buyers or sellers that would be interest other than I just listed this house. And this is a company called Outbound Engine that puts this one out.
Oh, good. So you're purchasing this and then maybe doing a little bit of customization and sending it out?
Correct.
I think this is interesting right here. Refer a friend, request a report, search now. Do you get any activity on this?
Yes, we get about 1 or 2 connects a month. And then, of course, when they do that, of course, we get their email and note it and add it to the list and follow up as fast as we can.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you. Let's take a look. I think we have one more here. Let's pull it up. All right, Terry, what do we got here?
Well, this is a Christmas card. This is just a warm and fuzzy. We care about you. We miss you. And we are wishing everybody the very best, especially this year.
Absolutely. All right, so we got the front here and the back here.
The back, we mean what we say. All we want for Christmas is to see everybody again soon. That's it.
That's nice. Very nice. So it's just a nice little reach out and touch. Just, hey, hope you're doing well.
Exactly.
Very good. And excellent. And then you're sending out this type of material 2 or 3 times a month.
Yes.
Cool. Very nice. And you mentioned before that your overall cost is about $300 to $400 a month. You're keeping a lot of it electronic. That's probably keeping the cost down.
Yes.
Do you ever make phone calls to your past clients in sphere of influence as part of your plan, your annual plan? Do you try to call through those 3,000 people or maybe a selected group of 30 or 300 or something?
I do. A lot of the email things that we send out will notify me who's clicked on it. And so I know who's kind of actively engaging in some of this. And so again, we get notified, so we'll pick up the phone and talk to them and follow up. But, I love my clients, and just sometimes I'll just have a day that I'm driving from one showing to another and I'm thinking about somebody. I always think if I'm thinking about them, I want to talk to them. And it's surprising to me how often I feel that way and I call them and something's up. And my clients know I love doing business. I love real estate, and I really am there from the bottom of my heart to help them.
Very nice. So you call kind of when you have some intuition, when you're thinking about it. Do you have any formal schedule? Are you trying to call everybody once a year, twice a year, once a quarter, anything like that?
I actually don't.
Okay, no problem. And do you call them or do you send anything out to them on like their birthday or anniversary, their home buying anniversary, anything like that?
No, I don't.
Okay, but that's okay. This program is working really well for you. And I just want to know what you are doing. I'm just curious. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Is there anything else that you're doing with your past clients in sphere of influence that we haven't talked about yet?
There is, which is kind of funny, and it's not. I make a large calendar that is magnetic, and we only have one company that does it. And we go out of our way to have a professional photographer take a picture, a very nice picture. It could be the golf course, it could be the mountains, it could be the pronghorn antelope out there in the mountains. And we have it made with a calendar that goes on top of it. And it is 9.5 by 11, so it's a large one. If I looked in my farm, because we also send them out to our sphere of influence, but if I looked in my farm and I see the houses that come on the market, I would say 8 out of 10 of those houses, I'm either on the refrigerator or I'm on the water heater. And I'm there all year because it's such a big, nice, professionally good picture. Some houses, there's 10 or 12 of those calendars, they're keeping them. And so I like always being in front of them. And, like I said, I get people who call me and go, are we getting our calendar? And when we deliver that, we personally walk 1,300 homes. And I have other realtors that I'm friends with that that do the same thing. And so I help them deliver theirs and they help me deliver ours. And on that day, we also pay some teenagers to help us because it's a lot of walking. And it's a great day because people are in the community doing something in the yards and talk to us. And we give them a full sheet that shows them in that subdivision every single house that sold this year and what it sold for, what floor plan it was, how many days on the market it was. So people look forward to getting that sheet that goes with the calendar that says, here's what happened this year.
Very nice. Very nice. And so you're doing, that's kind of a crossover piece. It's going out to your sphere, but it's also going into the geographic farm.
Right. And we mail it out to the owners that are not here also.
That's great. Very nice. When you're talking to your people, your past client sphere of influence, do you ever formally ask for a referral? And if so, how do you do that?
I probably don't do it as much as I should, but I always ask people, how's their family? How's their friends? Is everything going good in their life? Do you know anybody that needs my help? But I'm probably not as good at that as I probably should be. So if I was going to look at myself and say that's an area I could grow, that is definitely the area I could grow.
Well, it seems to be working just fine for you. I'm just curious what you're actually doing. And I found that some people ask and some people don't, and it all seems to work out. So if you were to look back at your past client sphere of influence marketing program, what you've done over the years, are there any mistakes that you made or things you wish you would have done differently?
Probably, I don't know that it's a mistake, but I probably would have been even more diligent, if it's possible, to be definitely collecting emails and addresses all along the way. Because I think that I know that is so important to real estate business, that you have those contacts and that you stay in touch with everybody, even people you don't think would be your client. I mean, I was telling you today that while I went for my walk with my dog this morning, and I remember walking past one of the landscaping trucks, and it's a landscaper that works in the area. And so I know who the guys were because they were out there doing some work in that community. And then I came back home, and then of course, I don't know if they saw me because I was walking my dog or just because they know me from where I live, but we're working at home and they come knocking on the door and say, he needs a rental. Can I help him? And there's no sign out front that says I'm in real estate business. So again, of course, we stopped what we were doing and we helped him and got his information, and we have a plan to help him get a rental. But I go back to the same old thing. It's be of service to whoever it is, because you don't know where it's coming from.
That's a really good point. That is a good point. All right, very good. Well, let's start wrapping up. Do you have any final words of wisdom for agents who are listening? They want to be better at getting repeating referrals from their past clients and sphere of influence?
I think the most important thing is, first, do it from your heart and be honest no matter what. Second, keep that database accurate and going. It is your number one contact with the world. There's only so many hours per day. And if you can automate these things and you can show that it's from your heart too, it's just help. And have a wonderful assistant. There is not one better than the one I have.
Have somebody help you out if you can. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well,
absolutely.
Terri, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us today about your PCSOI, your repeating referral program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terri. Well, That's it for now. Thanks for joining us on the Solo Agent World podcast. Keep moving forward. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye.
This has been another episode of Solo Agent World. Enjoyed what you heard? Hit that like button. Plus, remember to subscribe and click that notification icon so you'll be the first to receive all the latest episodes. Love the show? Leave us a 5-star rating and write a quick review. If you know a solo agent that we should interview, yourself or someone else, let us know at mastermindagent.com. And if you have a solo agent friend who could benefit, tell them about the show. Thanks for listening to Solo Agent World. Keep smiling and keep moving forward.